Hi everyone, this is Ben with Roundtable Media. Here at Roundtable Media, we are dedicated to producing a variety of content. Whether it's news and information or education and entertainment, you're sure to find it here at Roundtable Media. If you're a fan of history, this is definitely the place you want to be. Visit historic locations with our History Across America series. We talk to people making a difference, and we visit some really cool locations in the process. Consider becoming a paid subscriber for as little as $8 a month or $129 a year. By becoming a paid subscriber, you have access to exclusive content, extended interviews, and up to 20% off prices on our online store. And your subscription allows us to continue to produce quality content for your screen. Watch us on your Roku device, Amazon Fire TV, or by downloading our app, available in the Apple App Store or Google Play. We also offer our viewers a travel booking engine similar to Expedia or Travelocity, where you can get up to 30% off your next hotel or resort. The link is in the description. Have a great day, be safe, and thank you so much for your support.
Introducing the ZenBody line of products now available for purchase on our website. ZenBean Infrared Brew is a one-of-a-kind nootropic coffee, expertly infrared roasted for a smooth, rich flavor. This premium blend goes beyond regular coffee by incorporating ingredients that naturally boost mood, energy, and focus. Also available in pods. Get your day started with Slim Brew Superfood Coffee, packed with powerful antioxidants and metabolism-boosting ingredients to support weight management, and it tastes like chocolate. Try their protein shake packed with 20 grams of protein, available in 4 delicious flavors. Become a subscriber for up to 20% off our online price. Simply go to our website to order.
Hi everybody and welcome. I am honored today to be joined by Monique James. She is a marketing consultant here in the Augusta area, and we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming TikTok ban and how that may or impact businesses. We want to talk to her. She does a lot of TikTok videos for her businesses, and she also advises businesses who uses TikTok regularly. So, Monique, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
I'm glad you're able to come. So the TikTok ban is scheduled to go into effect tomorrow. According to TikTok, if something is not if there's not new ownership in place, then the app will go dark tomorrow. So Monique, tell me a little bit about what impact will that have on your businesses and other businesses who regularly use TikTok?
Well, yeah, I think for businesses that have used it and are monetized directly on the app, that the app going away takes away a revenue stream, an income stream for their business. And so if they hadn't already thought about how they would move that audience to a different platform or bring those people who follow them someplace else that they can monetize, then I think it's going to be tough in the transition, because you're right, it's less than 24 hours from the time we're recording this that the app is going to go dark. So if business owners have been making money directly from the app, whether they have been monetized within TikTok and getting paid from the app for their content, using TikTok Shop, or selling their products and selling to people, users on TikTok, the transition is going to be rough, because I think TikTok made such a splash because, first of all, there are features available in TikTok that are not available in any other apps that are significant. The apps that have millions of users, a lot of those features just aren't available in other places. Right. Also, the audience on TikTok is different. people behave differently, on TikTok than they do on other platforms. And so there is more community engagement. People there are more inclined to communicate and talk to each other and share information and ask questions. All of those things that a business owner who might be looking to refine their strategy, and that's my focus, marketing strategy, or test new products, or just get feedback, kind of create their own unofficial focus group. TikTok was perfect for that. So I think for businesses who were indirectly monetized or weren't even actually using it for monetization, but they were using it to engage with potential customers, they're asking people questions and getting responses, and they're using that insight to create new products or to take a different approach with products, or they're using the app to test out content to see if it performs there before they publish it on perhaps a platform where the stakes might be higher. I think for them, the transition is going to be a little bit easier. You can, right now that the app is still live, people can download their data. You can download your posts. You can download videos that you've saved and comments and messages and all of that. There's still time to do that and start to figure out where they will go next. Like I said, for the people that were directly monetized, that's going to be a challenge because there is not another compatible app that you can be assured that the bulk of the people will go to. I'm hearing a lot of things. People are going to a lot of different places. And so until there is a large group of users, the what people are calling the TikTok refugees, until those people kind of decide where they're going to land and build and engage there, it is going to be challenging for for business owners who have been directly monetized there.
I got you. Now, when you say monetizing, you mean like making money off of views, or just money that comes in from people that are referred to their business, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Like I said, I think the fact that the TikTok user was different than other social platforms. I think a lot of people ended up on TikTok because they kind of got sick of the way that the algorithms function on a lot of other platforms. And so until a new app or perhaps an existing app redesigns their algorithm or, kind of changes the way they do things, until that happens, those people are going to be searching for where to go and where to get recommendations about the latest recipe to try for dinner, or the newest purse to buy, or the newest whatever, the newest microphone or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where those types of conversations are going to end up.
Exactly, it is. So let me say this: Do you have a recommendation as far as a plan B? If the app goes dark tomorrow, then do you have a recommendation about how business owners can adjust?
Yeah, I think the first step is to go back to your strategy, and that's my wheelhouse. I believe a robust or a holistic marketing strategy includes social media, but it doesn't only include social media. You have to also include email or your blog or other channels, because that's just diversification, and diversification is a great thing.
Absolutely.
So I definitely think going back, revisiting the strategy and figuring out, okay, is there an existing platform that I already have a presence on that I can shift my focus to and start to pour in or invest in the audience building there like they did on TikTok. And once you decide what that is, use these last few hours that we have to tell the existing audience where to find you next, whether that is an existing platform, like I said, that you already have. A lot of people, pulled back from like the Facebook and the Instagram and chose to go all in on TikTok. Well, now some of those users will probably end up back on Facebook and Instagram. So there's an opportunity there to re-engage and build from that place. I'm hearing Fanbase is an app that I recently set up an account on, and they have a migration feature that it pulled in all of my TikTok content onto my brand new Fanbase account. So I have content already there. All of my content from TikTok is already there. So now it's just a matter of starting to engage and build and notifying my audience. This is where you can find me now that TikTok is gone. So I think the remedy is very specific based on the individual business, but I do not think the automatic response should be go jump into a brand new app before we know what these brand new apps can do. There is an app in particular that I'm not going to mention, but a lot of TikTok people have migrated over there, and it's still yet to be determined. You know, the terms of service are very unclear. And so I'm not a fan of making long-term decisions from short-term emotions. And I can understand the fear that a lot of people are experiencing right now. And so when that's really loud in your ears, it's really hard to, make clear-headed decisions. So I always err on the side of caution. I encourage my clients, my audience to err on the side of caution. Stick with what you know for right now. You could probably claim your name on some of those other channels just to park it. For me specifically, I've started to see requests for people who follow me on TikTok to follow me on another app that I'm not on yet. I don't have a profile there yet, but because the apps are connected, I'm seeing users request to follow me on this other app. So now I'm thinking, well, if nothing else, I will go and claim my name there just so nobody else can claim it. Just so, just kind of park it there, just to kind of protect my intellectual property and protect the brand a little bit better. So there's a lot of questions and the answers aren't as easy to get to in a time like this.
I mean, it's definitely not easy. And you're right. You have a lot of people panicking, a lot of businesses panicking. I heard the stat, there's 170 million users on TikTok, which is half the population, roughly half the population of the United States. So to just talk about the enormous popularity of that app, and we've never seen just something just that popular just go away. Business owners, have a right to be worried and concerned, especially if that's an income and source of your business. So let me switch. Let me say this real quick. Do you anticipate Trump's going to be able to save this thing? I know he said he needs more time with it.
I mean,
what do you think going forward on that? I know that the Supreme Court just kept the ban in place.
And so I read that the Supreme Court decided to uphold the ban. I still want to read what the decision was like. What was the basis of the decision? Because if the basis was going back to the original reason for the ban in the first place, making information available to a country that is an enemy of this country, I think there might still be hope, but I'm a realist. I am neither optimist nor pessimist. I am very much a pragmatist. So it's like, okay, it could go either way. And we won't know until we know. So for right now, what's in front of us? What's in front of us right now is it's been decided that the ban was upheld, and so the app has decided we're taking it dark. I'm assuming at midnight or 12:01, on Sunday morning. And so how can we prepare from how can we make an informed decision using the information that we have right now? I just shared an article on one of my social platforms about Perplexity, which is an AI chatbot tool that I use a lot. They just made a bid to partner with TikTok, like to partner with the company or something like that, so that the app could stay in existence. The ban doesn't have to go through. So I think there's going to be a lot of those like mad dashes and scrambles, and there's going to be breaking news, breaking news, breaking news.
Yeah.
It's going to be really exhausting for people who are trying to follow it minute by minute. And I'm of the belief that that energy could be better spent, especially if you're a business owner. That energy could be better spent figuring out where you're going to lead your people to next. Because that's at the core of what we're talking about. It's leadership. Every business owner in a time like this has to be able to step into the role of the leader and making a decision and telling your audience, this is where we'll be. And yes, there probably will be a loss of people. Audiences will decrease. However, you can rebuild. You build on TikTok, so you can rebuild anywhere.
Absolutely.
I think,
Absolutely. I'm a video content creator. I'm a video content creator, and I have been hesitant to go to TikTok simply because of the privacy concerns. And I've been criticized for it. I've had people get on to me, they're like, why aren't you on TikTok? What would be your message to somebody that's like me that's concerned with some of the privacy issues that are allegedly happening with the app?
I mean, I would say those concerns are valid. I don't think those concerns come from anywhere. That's reality with that app and any app. You know, I would say for a business owner who has been hesitant to do it because of that, but they recognize the opportunity. Then it takes some, let me arm myself, empower myself with some information so I can make the best decision for me and decide what my boundaries are. So, for example, I never signed up for TikTok Shop because I didn't like, they requested way too much information. I was like, nope, I'm not giving you that, so I won't do it. But I recognized that I could build there in my way. And sure, that could have, choosing to go forward with it could have generated income for my business, but I wasn't willing to earn that money at the expense of what I consider are deal breakers for me and for my business. And so I think that's what it is. You know, we make decisions every day as business owners that are aligned with our values and what matters to us. And I don't discount like a gut feeling. You know, gut feelings weigh a lot for me. I, as a business owner, and this is how I operate, and this is how I encourage, you know, people who work with me and listen to me to operate too. Like, trust your gut, and then follow up the gut with, like, trust but verify. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Trust your gut and verify. And then make the decision, you know, that feels right for you.
That's awesome. That's awesome advice. The old Reagan stance, trust but verify. So switching gears a little bit, you do a lot with advising companies with AI. Tell me a little bit about your work there, and what you're advising businesses as far as integrating AI.
So the success with integrating AI into your marketing begins with that solid foundation and that strategy. And so my focus with regard to strategy is brand, character, and identity. So figuring out the edge. What's the edge? How is one brand different from a competitor? What makes it unique? What makes it special? You know, what is in the founder's story, background, expertise that just give the brand its own lane to stand in? Like clarifying that and figuring that out, and then pairing that with the customer discovery, because we're all trying to sell stuff to people. So we have to know who those people are.
Exactly.
And really getting into the lives of those people, understanding what's happening in their lives outside of their engagement with your social content or your emails or watching your videos, what's happening in their lives, so that, especially if you're using platforms like social media, like we're talking about today, you always have something to say to them that would invite them into a conversation that's not always, here's my thing, buy it. But I like to describe it this way. When you get on the phone with your best friend, you can talk about everything and nothing.
Yeah.
And you'll still leave the conversation like, man, I love that.
Yeah.
That guy is great.
Yeah.
This is a great conversation. Yeah. You can do that because you know them well and they know you well. And so the challenge with the customer discovery is getting to know those people well. So when you're thinking about marketing this month and next month and the month after that and the month after that and next year and the year after that, you always have something to say that they would want to be involved in, they would want to participate in. So that's why the customer discovery is so important. And then also figuring out who your brand isn't for, because you're not for everybody.
Yeah.
So just clarifying that really helps a brand's marketing hit a little bit better. And then the last piece is the content, identifying the channels, figuring out what the customer's journey is, so your content meets them on the channels where they're spending time and in the way, like in the format. Yeah. Do they like to read? Do they like to listen? Yeah. Do they watch videos? Yeah. Would they watch a 45-minute video? Or do you need to distill that thing down to 30 seconds because their attention span is like the size of a goldfish? Yeah. So understanding all of that, that's strategy. Yeah. That's the foundation. And so when you think about what AI can do to help you clarify the brand tighter, I'm an Army veteran, so I like to use military analogies, like tighten the shot group even better. Just refining it is like taking the power of the creativity and the insight, the instinct of that human, that leader for that business, that marketing team for that business, and pour the technology of AI onto those three elements of the strategy. It's a game changer. You can identify the brand better. You can clarify the customer personas better and consistently. Yeah. And you can create that content, again, all the time, on the channel, in the way. And you can do those faster. I'm the kind of person, I get ideas a lot. Always. I'm running list of ideas in my notes app. Using AI allows me, and the way I teach my clients to do, you can go from idea to execution in minutes, in like 30 minutes. Yeah. As opposed to a week.
Exactly. I mean, you're absolutely right about that. Speeds up the work process.
It just lets you get things done. I always tell business owners who are hesitant or who are like, well, it just feels like too much or I'm afraid or whatever. The technology isn't here to replace them. Yes. The human beings in that business have value. The AI cannot shine as brightly as we want it to shine without the human beings, their insight, their experience, their context. They have to be involved. And so you think about if the AI is the hammer that's going to allow you to build the house, it's the vehicle that you are going to drive to get to the destination. You work together. That's what's so important. And so that's my approach. That's how I teach and train and consult. And that's how I do it in my own business. And that's where it started. I first started playing with ChatGPT in November 2022 when it first came out. Yeah. And over the years, I learned it, built my own internal systems. When those started working, I started talking to business owners about what I was doing. And from their questions, realized, more people want to learn this. So let me start teaching and talking about it. And till now, let me start building tools for people or coaching business owners and their marketing teams how to use it, coaching you on how to turn off certain features or activate certain features so your intellectual property is protected. So the tool isn't using your information to train and make that available for other users. So it is a delicate dance, but it does involve the humans and the technology.
Right, and that's a lot of the fear that people have, is that it's going to replace people's jobs.
Yeah.
And I can understand that concern, but you as a business, it's not going away. So you either have to learn to adapt to it, or you're going to be behind with it. And
It's definitely here to stay.
yeah. It's not going anywhere. So that's important, that you're educating your clients on how to correctly and properly adapt it into their business. So, Monique, I appreciate you joining me today. Thank you so much. And just to go back to what we were telling, just to kind of summarize what we were saying about TikTok, is just the importance of telling your followers on TikTok on what other platforms they can follow you at, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And download your data. Download your content now.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't know what the new app is, tell your people where they can follow you. Get them to, and if you want to be really strategic, invite them to get on your email list instead of just following you on another social media platform.
Absolutely.
But tell them where they can go within these last few hours and download the data. And then you have time to figure out everything else.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an honor and a privilege to have you on my show today. And real quickly, tell folks how they can find you. How can they reach out and follow you?
So I am Monique James, Moniek James, everywhere, MoniqueJames.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I guess I have to stop saying TikTok.
I was going to say, right?
YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm everywhere online under my first and last name.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, and we will definitely be reaching out to you in the future to talk more in depth about AI.
Oh, we could talk for days then, but we won't right now. Yes, I would love to.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, thank you so much. You take care, be safe, and God bless, and we'll see you on next time.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Hey, how would you like to win some tickets to the Atlanta Braves home game throughout the 2025 season? If the answer to that question is yes, go to our website, roundtabletv.net, and scroll down the homepage, and you will see trivia contest. Answer all 5 questions correctly, and you will be entered into a drawing to win Braves tickets. We'll be doing this throughout the 2025 season. So you can also purchase tickets on our website as well for select Atlanta Braves home games. So look forward to giving away tickets this year, and go Braves. Hi everyone, this is Ben with Roundtable Media. Here at Roundtable Media, we are dedicated to producing a variety of content, whether it's news and information or education and entertainment. You're sure to find it here at Roundtable Media. If you're a fan of history, this is definitely the place you want to be. Visit historic locations with our History Across America series. We talk to people making a difference, and we visit some really cool locations in the process. Consider becoming a paid subscriber for as little as $8 a month or $129 a year. By becoming a paid subscriber, you have access to exclusive content, extended interviews, and up to 20% off prices on our online store. And your subscription allows us to continue to produce quality content for your screen. Watch us on your Roku device, Amazon Fire TV, or by downloading our app, available in the Apple App Store or Google Play. We also offer our viewers a travel booking engine similar to Expedia or Travelocity, where you can get up to 30% off your next hotel or resort. The link is in the description. Have a great day, be safe, and thank you so much for your support.
John Drayton purchased this property in 1738. We think he started constructing sometime soon thereafter, and they're probably moving into the house at the end of the 1740s, maybe early 1750s. This house is older than the United States of America. When John purchased this property and started building, George Washington was 6 years old. Thomas Jefferson wasn't born yet.
That is awesome. That's cool to think about.
Yeah.
Do we know much about John Drayton?
John Drayton is really a man of mystery. We do not have many records that survive from his life. We know he was born around 1715, died in 1779, fleeing the British. And in those intervening years, he amassed an empire that reached about 76,000 acres all over South Carolina and Georgia. And so this property, Drayton Hall, is really just the center of that plantation empire that he built. This house was constructed in the 1730s, 1740s, and then the family did very little to it in the intervening generations. And so the National Trust has decided to treat the house like an artifact, which means we don't try to restore it to a particular time period. We do work very hard to conserve all the original craftsmanship. So all of the hand-carved moldings are still there, handmade bricks, all of these things we are trying to protect. So when people come here, what they are looking at is the real artifact. This room in the 19th century was the dining room of Drayton Hall. So when this house was first built, we actually don't know what they were using the rooms for, and it was really common for them to use each room for several different functions. But in the 19th century, Charles Drayton actually drew a floor plan of his house, and he labeled some of the rooms, and he labeled this as the dining room. And this really makes sense for us because in this room you can actually see the spiral staircase that led down to the cellar where enslaved people prepared all the meals for the household, and then they would come up this staircase and directly into this room where they could serve meals. The staircase continues all the way up to the attic today. This is how I get into the attic if I need to go up there and do anything. And so I can say from experience, these stairs are small. They're very narrow, it's dark. And so sometimes I imagine, what if I was carrying a plate of food or somebody's laundry or a full chamber pot up and down these stairs? So this is really part of the working heart of this house where enslaved people were moving through the house behind closed doors, but keeping the place going. This room also features a really kind of unusual open doorway. So there's this door here, but then there's this other one that's bricked up. We get a lot of questions about this. This is an original load-bearing brick wall. This has been a door to nowhere forever. So they actually just built this for symmetry. They had a real door over here. They built a fake door on the other side. So you couldn't see the brick. They put a door in front of it, but it didn't go anywhere. And then it was removed. We think the Drayton family took it out so that they could just put a shelf here. But because it's gone, you can see some really strange things. So there's this decorative brickwork right here. We call this a diaper pattern. There's no reason for this to be here. It was totally hidden. So we think the mason was just practicing. He was trying a new skill in a place where you could mess up and it doesn't matter. So you can see fingerprints in this brick. There's 3 fingerprints in here. And so this survives in this brick because they were all handmade. So someone was forming the clay here and tempering it, and then they would put this clay into molds. And after it came out of a mold, someone had to stack all of these soft bricks to dry before they could be fired in a kiln. And so in that process of stacking those bricks, they're still soft enough that you could leave fingerprints in them. These fingerprints were probably made by an enslaved child. They were often the ones tasked with stacking these bricks. And so you can come to Drayton Hall and look very closely at all the bricks and find lots of examples of where people have literally left their mark on the building, and it survives 3 centuries later.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. This room has an original hand-carved plaster ceiling. So this plaster ceiling was created by someone laying on their back on scaffolding, carving this design out of wet plaster. And it survived from the 1740s with almost no intervention from us. So we're still studying the design of this ceiling. We're learning lots of things in this room. One of the mysteries that we're still trying to work out actually has to do with some strange carvings in between some of our windows over here. So if you look right here, see those carvings there? So there's carvings on that side and on the opposite side of this pier. So the space between the windows is called a pier. There would have been a mirror hanging here. They probably ordered it from London and waited months and months for it to arrive. And then when it got here, it didn't fit. So they made it fit. So this just makes me laugh when I see it, because it reminds me that people had really similar problems then as they do today. You ordered your mirror, you're really excited about it, it doesn't fit, and so you make it work. And that's exactly what's happening here. So we haven't seen this mirror, it doesn't survive that we know of, but we can trace these carvings and actually try to rebuild it based on these carvings, so we can have an idea what it looked like. To accommodate
for the mirror.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So that kind of tells us more or less what the shape of it was.
Wow.
Because they had to jam it in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
There is a Drayton family growth chart that survives in the house. So the oldest entry we can find on here is from the 1880s, and it has been in continuous use since then. So you will see marks on here from recent years. The Drayton family still comes out to measure little family members on here. So April 8th, 1915, Miss Charlotta Drayton measured her dog Nipper and put Nipper on the growth chart. We have photos of Nipper. He was not a Great Dane, he was a Bull Terrier. So Nipper cheated. And we actually had the opportunity to talk to Miss Charlotta's nephew, Charlie Drayton, about Nipper the dog. And I asked him if Nipper was a biter, if that's how he got his name. And he was like, no, he was a nice dog. He doesn't know why she named him Nipper. But here you go. He's memorialized in the growth chart here. In the upper Great Hall right now, and you can see that it's a big empty space. We don't have any furniture in here, and that's because the furniture in our collection is very old, very well made. We want to take great care of it, but this house is unconditioned. There's no heat, there's no air conditioning. It's not a great place to take really good care of furniture like that. So you can see the Drayton furniture in our gallery on site, just not in the house. This blue-green paint that you see on the walls dates to 1870 or 1880, so it's post-Civil War, and we've actually done a ton of work to conserve it and keep it on the walls. So what we actually did was we borrowed a technique from the fine art conservation world. So we sprayed a solution onto the walls, and then we took sheets of Mylar and went foot by foot and pressed all of the paint into the wall. So it's totally invisible, doesn't have any sheen or anything, but it helps hold that original paint in place. And that's what a lot of our preservation work looks like here. We don't want you to notice all the things that we're doing to hold the line, basically, and keep everything as it was as much as possible. So it looks a little shabby, but it's the real deal. It's original, and we really like that about it.
That's cool. Do we know what kind of wood?
Yeah, they used a lot of different kinds of wood in the house. So the paneling is cypress, there's tulip poplar framing, there's oak, there's longleaf yellow pine. They used all kinds of different materials. They also imported stone from England. All the columns are Portland limestone. Glass probably all came from England. So they were bringing a lot of materials from all over the place. So we're often doing archaeology on the property as well. We have 2 full-time archaeologists on staff, and they are currently doing an excavation inside of the main house. We've got another excavation happening just outside of the house, and so if you come while they're working, they're happy to show you what's coming out of the ground.
And what are some of those things y'all discovered?
Some of the artifacts that we've seen recently include a megalodon tooth and ceramics. We've got pieces of the house like tiles that line the fireboxes, massive glass bottles that may have held gin or wine. So there's all kinds of very different things coming out of the ground. So Drayton Hall has a website that people can visit. You can purchase tickets online. We're open 6 days a week. And you can also engage with us on social media. We often share content on our Facebook and Instagram pages. We'll occasionally do a YouTube video. And we've been known to do live videos where people can tell me where they want to go in the house, and we'll look at whatever you want to look at in real time.